Tony Clement is the newly minted Minister of Industry. How are you doing today, sir?
Just great. It's another lovely day in downtown Winnipeg.
And just through that door over there, we're voting on policies and forming the new vision of the, well, at least the amended vision of the Conservative Party of Canada. Have any policy resolutions struck you so far?
Well, I think it's great that we've got, I was here just for I completed the social policy one, so obviously there was some robust debate on some of them, but I think generally people are of the same view when it comes to crime and justice issues. There's a very clear, overwhelming majority of people who want to protect Canadian society, want to make sure the bad guys are behind bars, and that really is one of the hallmarks of conservatism in our country, and I'm glad to see it reinforced here.
So you're looking forward to seeing a good crime agenda?
Yeah, I think it's going to be important. Now, obviously, the Prime Minister's indicated we're focused on the economy, certainly for this mini fall session. But I also expect us to, as the Prime Minister indicated the other night, to move ahead with our crime and justice agenda as well.
Okay, so you're the new Minister of Industry. You've been briefed, I assume, or you are reading the briefing books?
I've been drinking from the fire hose, yes.
Yes, right, exactly. What do you see as the upcoming significant policy measures that this government will be taking with respect to industry?
Yeah, I've got a number of different files. Obviously, I've got some sectoral interests like autos, aerospace, forestry, those kinds of things. Basically, my goal, my job is to make sure that Canadian markets work in such a way as to promote competitiveness and productivity. And industry typically is a very long-term department, but we've got some short-term issues with the world economic meltdown. Obviously, my department is hand in glove with the Department of Finance on issues like access to credit, issues like liquidity in the marketplace, those kinds of things. So, yeah, I'm the marketplace guy, so I'm there to make sure overall that our marketplace is working and that we continue to look for ways to make sure that Canadians are competitive and productive for the future.
Of course, we'll see copyright come up on the agenda again. Will you be taking a different or modified track from the previous minister on this issue, or it's generally along the same track as Cabinet for copyright?
Well, I mean, copyright reform is all about balancing the needs and interests of Canadian consumers with the artists and with the purveyors of content, you know, and so what I've got to do is satisfy myself that we've got the right balance. We were able to get a little bit of feedback on the previous bill before Parliament, so I'm going to be examining some of the feedback and talking to a few people before I move forward.
Do you believe a different balance will exist now that we have a Minister of Heritage from British Columbia rather than Quebec when it comes to producer rights?
No, I don't think that so much makes a difference. I mean, James, though, I think if you're looking at demographics, he's obviously a younger Canadian. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm part of the iPod generation. He's really part of the iPod generation. So we always trade stories on how we're using new media and how it animates our public policy life. So I'm really looking forward to working with him on this issue. But you know. This is one of these things where things change all the time. When you're looking at content, when you're looking at how the internet is embedded in our society, new things are happening all the time, and so I think we have to have regard for that.
Well, we've seen even changes between the time when the legislation was first proposed before the last election and now on the evolution of content and how that is being delivered online.
Quite so.
Do you believe that what we're going to see is well, what I want to know is, have there been lessons learned or an evolution in thinking between the time when the legislation has been first proposed, the feedback you've received from stakeholders, the feedback you've received from other people interested in the issue? I know that it's a very important issue to many Canadians.
Well, all I can tell you is, I mean, I was a previous, obviously, Minister of Health, so I was just I was getting feedback from constituents rather than dealing directly with all of the players in this particular file. But no, I think that one of the advantages of having a new Parliament is we can examine bills that were introduced but not passed, see what sort of feedback we got from Canadians, and if necessary, if we feel that we haven't struck the right balance, to calibrate things. So I'm not trying to signal anything in this particular case. I'm just saying that's the process that I will be going through myself to examine whether feedback does require me to go back to cabinet with a slightly different version.
Great. Well, thank you very much.
Okay.